Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, today we are going to talk about preliminary factors for meditation. So when we are going to meditate, we also need these prerequisites of meditation. We might do some preparation. Now we will start with the first one, purifying morality. So morality is also important factors as a foundation. Then we may have many types of morality. It will be too wide. The main thing is we have to train our bodily actions and speech. If we can train speech and action, then we can purify our morality. Actually, we also understand morality as a sila in Pali. So we have many different analyses of sila. If we summarize, there will be two types of sila, morality. The first one is charita sila. That means we have to perform our duties. We have to perform our responsibilities. This is called charita sila. As a human being, we have many responsibilities. For example, we have family member. We have to fulfill our duties for our family. This is the one thing. We live in the community, so we have to fulfill our duties for the community. So if we can do our duties for many people more effectively, then we can say we are strong enough. Another one is varita sila. Varita sila means not to do. Okay, that means there are many wrong speech and wrong actions. We must not do it. We have to avoid it. These are called varita sila. Okay, if we summarize easier way, there are only two types of sila, to do and not to do. So to do our duties, not to do any offense or disturbance to other people. This is a summary of morality. If we can purify our morality, we may feel safe. Not only that, we can influence our community. For example, if we tell the truth, our community will believe whatever we say. This is the power of morality. So if we don't kill any living beings, all living beings will never scare us. And that kind of thing can happen, even in modern society. I think in Nepal you may have seen white chicken. In the forest they live naturally, right? flying chicken. When you approach, they were flying away, right? How near you can approach them? How many yards? How many feet can you approach them? Maybe around maybe 10 cubit or around, we can say around 60 yards or something. Is it possible to approach at that distance? In Nepal, is it possible? I don't think so, right? You cannot approach maybe 60 yards, right? 60 yards, 18 feet. But when you come to Paudoya, you can approach up to 2 to 3 yards. They don't scare. They know we don't kill. We don't disturb them. So this is the power of morality. If we are moral, people will believe us. Living being will believe us. Not only that, we also have our own confidence. We can believe our morality. We can believe our value. This is also one of the supporting causes of meditation. And now next one, giving up major impediments. So you may have remembered major impediments I have already listed out. Living place, you have to repair, renovate, that kind of things, right? Family, gay, I have already mentioned, I have already listed out 10 types of impediment. They are called major because it is heavy job. When we have impediment, we have to find the solution. We must solve all these impediments first. If we cannot solve, when we are meditating, all the things will come to our mind. We cannot practice well. This is also one of the conditions, one of the prerequisites before meditation. 3, seeking guidance from a competent teacher. So we need proper guidance from a competent teacher. It's very easy to advise. How can we decide it's a competent teacher or not? It's very clear the Buddha is a competent teacher, right? Nobody can say no. But now we cannot listen any instruction from the Buddha. We have to read the textbooks. So sometimes we misinterpret, misunderstand the text. We may practice something wrong. This kind of thing also can happen. So if there's no Buddha, who should be? Of course, Buddha disciple. Like Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Mahakassapa, very famous disciple, very famous arhat. If we can learn from them, so we may have more confidence. Right? Then again, if there's no arhat, who should be our teacher? It should be an anagami. If we cannot find anagami, sakadagami. If no sakadagami, sotapanna. If no sotapanna, vipassana practitioners. If no vipassana practitioners, jhana, who can attain jhana? Then if there's nobody who can attain jhana, we have to find well-learned bhikkhus, well-learned teacher. That means who had already learned Buddha teaching. So this is the right teacher. So we may have some special textbook, for example, like Visuddhimagga, collections of practice. Visuddhimagga just collect all types of practice. Then we also have like a Parisamhita-magga, a little bit similar to Visuddhimagga, but different order. Then there are many, many other textbooks for meditation guidance. So if one who had already learned meditations or meditation methods according to Tipitaka, or is a commentary and sub-commentary and some explanation of a Noti passage, then we have to learn from them. So we also say guidance. Actually, in every single meditation subject, there's also the method. For example, when we study 32 body parts, it will list out how to do, what to do, step by step. Similarly, when we are going to practice 4 elements, it will mention step by step what to do. Okay, now you are practicing Anapanasati. What also mention how to do, what to do. So we can learn from the text, we can learn from learned teacher, well-learned teacher. So this is also prerequisites of meditation. So before we are going to meditate, we have to prepare all the things. The next one, practicing a proper meditation subject. So we can also say suitable meditation subject. Today we have to explain this one. It will be too wide. So we have many different temperaments. According to our temperament, we have different meditation subjects. Of course, at the time of the Buddha could know people's temperament, tendency, inclination, maturity of controlling faculties, and the Buddha can guide them rightly. They can also practice systematically. They could attain path and future knowledge easily. Now we don't have this kind of teacher. Even I have already talked to you, right? I'm blind. If I know this is suitable, give instruction. If I know this is suitable, give instruction. That is why I'm practicing proper meditation subject. It's also important. But now we have to try many different things. We have to do try it. Then we don't know which one is the most suitable subject for us. Okay, now next one. Avoiding unsuitable monasteries. I have already mentioned, right, old monastery, new monastery, famous monastery, any busy monastery with many activities. We should avoid this kind of monastery. In Nepal, in every monastery, you have many, many activities, right? I know in Vietnam also they have many activities. A monastery is very busy with many activities we should avoid. Because it's a busy monastery. But sometimes people also say the Buddha recommended to live under a foot of a tree. Now, when we are ordained also, in the ordination ceremony, at the end of ordination, Then we also talk to newly ordained bhikkhu. Right? You have 4 dependents. The 4 is food. That's very clear already, right? We can go for Pinda Bada. If we have donor, we can also survive in the monastery without going for Pinda Bada. Similarly, robe. Okay, we also have red robe. We also have robe offered by devotees. We can wear. When the Buddha talked about monastery, Rukhamula, fruit of a tree. So fruit of a tree also can be Sinasana, living place, residence, monastery. But not all the trees are suitable for meditation. Right? Okay, I will not say all types of tree, all types of unsuitable tree, right? We have some unsuitable tree for your understanding. For example, a tree that bear many fruits. If you meditate under the tree, what will happen? When a fruit fall down, what will happen? This is an unsuitable tree. Right? Okay, if there's many birds live in the tree, you can imagine how it happen, right? Not only noisy, right? This is also unsuitable tree. So, okay, there's no birds. You also have bats, right? In Nepal also, right? Bats. If many bats on the tree, the same, you can also imagine what will happen. Okay, this is just an example. Although we can live under a tree, but there are 7 types of tree. It's not allowed, or that means unsuitable tree to meditate. So we must avoid unsuitable monastery, including unsuitable trees. Okay, now we have another thing. Residing in a suitable monastery. What is a suitable monastery? Actually, if we have good friends, good supporter, this is suitable monastery. Although we live in very good kuti, very luxurious kuti, but if nobody supports our practice, we cannot survive. This is a supporters. Another thing is, if we live in the community, when we make some mistakes, they can correct us. If there's nobody who can correct our mistakes, we cannot improve. That is why we need supporters. We also need good friends. Then we have the last one. Giving up minor impediment. So I have already said minor impediment is not so serious like major impediment. Right? For example, for bhikkhu, we have to shave our hair. We forgot to shave. When we are meditating, we may remember, I have to shave my hair, right? We're going to focus on the meditation subject. We just remember head hair. It's not reverse meditation. Right? Then, similarly, we forgot to cut our fingernail, toenails. Then, when we are going to meditate, we may remember, oh, I have to cut my nails. Cannot meditate. These are minor impediments we can solve within a few minutes. Not so serious like a construction. So we have to wash the clothes, we have to clean the room. In this kind of case, can be impediment, major impediment, minor impediment. So if we can give up minor impediment, this also preliminary factors for meditation. Before we are going to meditate, we have to prepare all the things. We have to solve all these impediments or anything. And we are ready for meditation. Okay, now we have to introduce the next one. Meditation and temperament. Actually, we have many different introduction or interpretation or explanation according to different commentaries. So we have 6 types of temperament. Then we also have 40 meditation subjects. We can also say 38 meditation subjects. Okay, whatever number is okay. Then we have to talk about temperament and meditation subject. So I have already mentioned the Buddha can know people's temperament, and the Buddha can give right instruction to the right people. For ordinary people like us, we don't have that kind of ability. The first one, lustful temperament. So we have already talked about it, dukkha paribhara. You may remember this one. When we have lustful temperament, we have dukkha paribhara. We will encounter a lot of difficulty. How to solve this problem? Here's the solution. Reversiveness meditation. Asava bhavana. It will be very wide. For example, we have dead body. In Nepal also you have cemetery. You can go and see dead body burning. Right? In Myanmar also we can go and see dead body in the cemetery. In India also I have seen. We go and see dead body. Very easy. But there are many countries, their dead body is well covered. We cannot go and see. Another thing is, they prepare very well. They apply makeup. When they are dying, when they are alive, they are not that beautiful. When they die, they become more beautiful. Then you will not feel repulsive, right? So here we will say, Asubha meditation, you must feel repulsive when seeing dead body. Then we have 10 types of asubha. We can say 10 types of dead body. We have different conditions. For example, after 2 or 3 days, body start changing, start smelly. Then there will be some spot on the skin, like a black, or maybe like dark skin. Skin become a little bit dark, smelly, right? 3 days later, or maybe after 1 week, it will become more serious. Some of the skin will tear off. Some liquor will come out. So after 10 days later, you can also imagine what will happen. So if we can see and feel repositives, this is effective. We can subside attachment or craving. Then sometimes, as we have already encountered that similar difficulty in every country, we cannot go and see dead body easily. Another thing is I have already mentioned, dead body are also not repositive. They prepare everything very well. No smell. They can also do now, right? No smell. They can inject some medicine, some injection. The body becomes dry, no smell. So in this kind of case, we may not feel repulsive, right? Because the main thing is we must feel repulsive. If we feel repulsive, we can subside attachment very easily. Actually, if you have seen dead body like this, very clear, in that very day, you don't want to eat, you don't want to sleep, you don't want to meditate, it will happen. Right? Because at the first year when I arrived at Pao Doya, one of the Pao Doya's, Pao Sayadaw's very senior Kapiya, passed away. We also have cemetery in Pao Doya, Molomie. I haven't learned Asava meditation according to the text, but I haven't ever seen dead body like this. This is a monastery Kapiya. The family arranged to use monastery cemetery. Then they keep in the cemetery for some times. We can go and see. This is the first time I have ever practiced Asava meditation systematically. Right? So not that. So okay, if we say Asava meditation is not that easy, we have to go and see properly. For example, body shape, kavi, right? From the forehead to nose, higher again, right? After that, lip higher, then in the neck lower, chest become a little bit higher, right? After that, lower, then knee also lower, only foot become higher. We have to know all the structure of the body, all the joints. For example, here we have column bone, right? Okay, the main is here, joint in the shoulder. We have to know joint in the shoulder, joint in the elbow, all the joints. Another is joint in the hip, joint in the knees, joint in the legs or foot, right? Then we have to know the positions of all the joints. How it's located in the dead body. Then close eye, visualize. You will come to know how do you feel. You don't want to sleep, you don't want to eat, you don't want to meditate. If you don't believe, you can go and see in the come and do now. Right? So when we go to hotel on the way, the Kapiya told us, he believes in Hinduism, right? He talked about cemetery on the way. We are burning. You can go and see. Then you can feel how is your mind at the time. But this is Asava meditation. Then we have a living Asava. Living Asava is, we can also understand like a 32 body parts. This is also living Asava. Then we also have to know the color, the shape, the smell, the delimetry, and the location of the body part. We must also feel repulsive. Now you may have many different shampoo, right? That's why you don't smell your head hair. Of course, for ordinary person, it's very clear. We don't need to smell. Right? We shave our hair. No smell. For lay person, if you don't wash your hair for 2 or 3 days, how do you feel? How is the smell? If you don't wash your head for more than 1 week, what will happen? It's a natural smell. Right? If you eat meat, it's stronger. Right? If you eat egg also, the smell will be stronger. If you just eat vegetable, a little bit okay. Not the serious smell. Right? Anyway, if we know the nature of head hair, we will feel repulsive. Right? Now people decorate many things. Right? They use very good shampoo. Sometimes they also dye in different color. Right? They make their head hair beautiful, different hairstyle. They are proud of their head hair also. Right? I remember one of the Myanmar celebrity. Right? She make a joke, especially about the lady. Right? He make a joke. The biggest enemy of women are head hair. When their head hair become longer, they plan to do something. Right? Then they become enemy. And they just bully their head hair. Right? Okay, anyway, now modern community, if we say head hair is a repulsive, people may laugh at it, right? Because they are proud of their head hair. Then, how do you feel when you see a thread of head hair in the soup? Only a thread or head hair in the soup. If you can see many threads of head hair in the soup, how do you feel? So repulsive. You can practically feel repulsive at the time. Right? In the head, of course, it's beautiful, nice, good looking, stylish, colorful maybe, right? So this is just a sample. Actually, you may have already known 32 body parts. If you have learned anatomy, you can also know the locations of all the body parts. But the problem is that you don't feel repulsive. Huh? Okay, the main thing is if we feel repulsiveness of 32 body parts, this is also called asubha. We can subside attachment to the body. Then we also have some advices, some guidance or some explanation about living asubha. For example, sometimes your body will be swelling. Right? Swelling. Then you can also feel it's asubha. This is also the time to see as asubha. Another thing is like a pus or blister or rash in the body. Small, right? part of the body. Then there's a liquid inside. You can also feel, reverse it, right? Another thing is bleeding. When you get some injury or many other conditions, bleeding, then this also reverses. Then seeing the teeth also. But I don't think people will feel reverse when seeing the teeth, right? They decorate their teeth many different ways also. I know very little about teeth. Right? How people decorate about the teeth? But around the year 2019 or 18, around that time, one of the Vietnamese girl came to power in all day. She's around 23 or something, very young. I didn't know anything about decoration teeth, right? So after ordination, actually since she was very young, then when I asked her to study Sikha rules, temple precept, very smooth. She could learn easily because too young. She could recite easily. But the problem is after ordination. One of the Sayalay asks, Sayadaw, Jatarupa Rajata also includes, does Jatarupa Rajata includes jewelry? I say, yes, you must not wear any jewelry. What about jewelry in the teeth? Why? I cannot understand. But then you Sayalay, the Vietnamese Sayalay, right? She has small piece of diamond in her teeth. She fits it. Then she says, Sayadaw, I'm put in my teeth like this. Why you do like this? When we smile, it will be bright. That's why I put it. This is the first time I ever know. Diamond in the teeth. I don't know how many people do it in Nepal. Right? So this is the first time. So if we say this is reported, then people normally believe. Right? If we wish to know to the reported after eating, you can see in the mirror. You may feel reported. Right? So the main thing is that when we have very strong attachment, very strong lustful mind, we can do asava meditation. We can subside attachment to living beings, living things. Another one, hateful temperament, anger, or short temper, hot temper. So we can also do 4 sublime abidance, Brahma Vihara, and 4 Kala Kasinas. So anger and metta are opposite. Similarly, anger and compassion, opposite. Anger and sympathetic joy, anger and sympathy, anger and equanimity are also opposite. That is why when we have very strong anger, we should do 4 sublime abiding. For 4 Kala Kasinas, White Kasina, mostly we started with the White Kasina. It's easier. It also makes people happy. Then we also have Yellow Kasina, Red Kasina, Black Kasina. So we can also practice Kala Kasina to make mind happy. Then we can overcome hatred or anger. So for about metta, Many people had already know how to do metta, or you can also study in many textbooks. Even our tradition, we can also learn radiating metta. Then many of Buddhist people also know Karaniya Metta Sutta. Right? That's why it's easier. The next one, deluded temperament. Actually, we have already talked about deluded temperament in Danda Binya, sluggish and attainment. We don't know everything clearly. We are always confusion, delusion, that this kind of person, right? Sometimes we also forgot what we are going to do. Then, the recommendation is a recollection of death, Marananusati. Actually, for about deluded temperament, the Buddha also recommended Anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. Actually, there's also some other kasinas for deluded temperament. We already mentioned Kala Kasina. We have 4 other kasina. Earth kasina, water kasina, fire kasina, and wind kasina. Okay, now we have another one. Speculative temperament. There's a lot of thinking, a lot of analysis. Right? We call Vidaka. A lot of curiosity also, right? Then here, Buddha recommended very simple thing, breathing meditation. It's very simple. The object is simple, only people are messy and complicated. Right? Meditation subject is very simple. Only people might become messy and complicated. Then it becomes complicated. Not only that, there's also mentioned 4 kasinas: earth, water, fire, and air. We can also say wind kasina. Why in this kind of thing explained here? Actually, this kasina also can apply for deluded temperament. What makes that different? For Vitaka Charita, speculative temperament, kasina should be small. If very big is not suitable for speculative temperament. For deluded temperament, we can make bigger kasina. Then this is also possible for them. So we can say these breathing meditation and also 4 kasina will be suitable for previous one, deluded temperament. So breathing meditation is simple, easy to know. That's why suitable for both deluded temperament and speculative temperament. For 4 kasinas, different size. Okay, for Vitaka Charita, 1 feet in diameter. The kasina size should not be very wide. Now for about speculative temperament, deluded temperament. Oh, I have seen something in Nepal. After harvesting paddy, you call it in one place, right? Make the ground clean and a little hot. After that, you try to get paddy from the hay, right? Without using machine, you also have that kind of culture in Nepal. Right? Still using hand, right? Hand white, small area for keeping hay and rice, paddy. How wide it is? Maybe as wide as maybe this area, right? Right? Maybe this wall to that wall, maybe. Square feet, right? Maybe square side. Maybe something maybe circles or zero. So for diluted temperament, it can be as wide as this area. For speculated temperament, it should be smaller. Now mostly we just use small size of kasina. Most people think a lot. Then we have the next one. Faithful temperament. Recollection of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, morality, charity, and divine qualities. So that means we have very strong saddha, very strong confidence, very strong devotion. For them, we can also encourage to practice recollection of Buddha's quality, as you have already known in Diviso Bhagava Arahant Sama Sambuddha. Maybe for detailed explanation will be a little bit wide, not so convenient in this retreat. Similarly, Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo in the Dhamma's quality, you can find anywhere. You can read in any Dhamma books. Subhadipana Bhagavato Savaka Sangho, you can find easily. But for about morality, very little information, right? Okay, if we summarize the quality of morality, don't break any of precepts. Without breaking any precepts. If we are undertaking 5 precepts, you don't break any of 5 precepts. This is called the qualifying morality. This is very beginning, right? Now we can also have some conditions. It is defilements. Sometimes we undertake precepts with attachment, expectation, for fame or for gain, right? Then you may have seen many people, they come to monastery and undertake precepts just for show. In their home, they can do whatever they like. Then, sometimes we also have a wrong view. Oh, Sila is enough. Good enough. We don't need to do other than. We don't waste time. Meditation or anything, no need. You don't need inside knowledge. You don't need concentration. Morality. It's good enough. That kind of wrong view, right? So if morality produced by defilements, this is not pure. Then I also have one Pali word, Vinyupassata. Vinyupassata means praised by a wise person and noble person. So our intention, the way we practice are correct. The wise person will praise us. They will admire us. This also qualifying morality. So if we do, or if we undertake precepts with other intention, improper intention such as gain, fame, popularity, or just for show, in this kind of case, it's not correct. We must have right intention, the right practice. This is qualifying morality. We can recall it. Similarly, charity. Okay, if we say easily, charity means don't expect anything from the receiver, just offer. Just offer for the welfare of receiver. Don't expect any other thing. For divine qualities, confidence, charity, morality, knowledge or Dhamma knowledge, and wisdom. All the divine beings also have this kind of power, quality. Because of Saddha in this very life, as a human being, they do something good. They were born in the Devarams. Similarly, because of generosity, morality, Dhamma knowledge, wisdom, they were born in the Devarams. If we have the same quality, we are also divine beings. We can recall our own quality of Saddha, Sila, Sutta, Jaga, Panya. This is called divine quality. Okay, now the last one, intelligent temperament. So that means very strong and very sharp wisdom. We cannot expect this kind of person in modern society. If we are very strong and very sharp, very bright, right? We will attain hardship easily, right? And we're going to find special people. We can find ordinary people. He also mentioned contemplations of 4 elements. Because we have to know 4 elements naturally. If we don't know how to be natural, we cannot practice. Right? Even anapanasati. Many people ask, Bhante, how to be natural? How many times do we have this kind of question? We are breathing every day since we were born. We have natural breathing already. Then people still ask, how do we natural? How should I answer? Four elements are more difficult than anapanasati. Right? If we ask how do we natural, very difficult to answer. Okay, practically, in this microphone there's a hardness. There's a natural hardness. Right? How do you know natural hardness? Just touch it, you can feel it. If you grasp very tight, you can feel harder. Only touching you can feel it, right? If you grasp, it will be very tight. Very hard also. Okay, the main thing is we must know natural characteristics of 4 elements. This is important. That is why Buddha recommended for intelligent temperament. Another thing is the recollection of peace. This is Nibbana. We call it embodied Upasamasati. Then you may also ask, what's the Nibbana? How does it look like Nibbana? Since Nibbana doesn't have a shape, I cannot explain how does it look like. Right? Nibbana is beyond imaginary. Of course, if our mind inclined to Nibbana, the cessation of nama rupa, the cessation of defilements, at least we can recognize what is really called Nibbana. Since many people's minds were not inclined to Nibbana, then it will be a little bit difficult for them to understand what is Nibbana. So when our mind inclined to Nibbana is possible, we can do it. Right? So if somebody asks Nibbana, then sometimes I cannot answer, right? I don't wish to answer also. Then, like for example, now many meditators here, right? Most of them are practicing anapanasati. If you ask me, Bhante, what's the Nibbana? Mostly I will answer, don't think about Nibbana, it's very far. Think about your own breath, it's nearer. It's more practical. right? So when you are learning in the kindergarten, don't think about university, right? When you are start writing A, B, C, D, don't think about English speaking too much. Don't think about English grammar. Just trying to write A, B, C, D. This is the first step, right? So now people are in the first step. They want to know Nibbana, the final one. We can say final graduation when they are in the kindergarten, right? Okay. So the main thing is the recollection of peace is the recollection of quality of Nibbana. It's not that easy. So when we are wiser, when our mind inclined to Nirvana, when we are diligent, when we have inside knowledge, it's possible. For ordinary people, it's impossible. Okay? So these are meditation subjects according to the temperament. So if we can do according to our temperament, it will be more effective. Okay, now you should check what kind of temperament you have. Most people have mixture of temperament. They are also greedy, they are also short temper, they also have a very strong delusion, they also analyze many unnecessary things, they also think about many other things unnecessarily, they also have blind faith, right? So most people have mixture of temperament. We cannot decide what to teach. So you also have to check what kind of temperament you have. Okay? I will stop here. The time passed already, right? May you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering. Okay, now? Okay, now? Any question?
Dạ, con xin hỏi là thứ tự trong tam vô lò học là giới định tuệ, có gì khác nhau với thứ tự của bát chánh đạo ạ?
Sayadaw, the question is the order of the 3 training, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Is there any different with the order of the Noble Eightfold Path?
Actually, when we talk about the order, then we also have to understand different orders, right? Okay, in Buddha teaching, we also have Desana Kama. Or maybe you can see here also, right? Okay. It will be easier. You can still see, right? You can see, right? Okay. Oh, too much. Sorry. I will show. Huh? Okay, now you can see 5 types of the sequential order, right? For example, Bhante Khemā, process order. Okay, then the process of what happening. If we say easier way, okay, now forget about the explanation here, right? For example, when you plant a tree, there's the process of a tree. Come from the seed, right? And then when we keep the seed on the soil, also water and then lighting, then there will be sprout, right? After that, it will bring the root and the sprout gradually become bigger. The order of growing, we can say the sequence of the tree growing. Okay, this is called Bhante Khemā. After which, what happened? This is it, the main thing, right? Pahana Khemā, the order of abandonment. So that means in every single improvement we abandon something. This is called the order of abandonment. Okay, Bhante Khemā. Okay, Bhante Khemā is the order of practice. For example, now when we are going to do meditation, we have to start from Sila. After that, go to purification of the mind, the 7th purification, one by one. Last year, when I talked about Rathavadita Sutta, I have already explained 7th purification in detail. This is called Bhante Khemā. Now, Bhumi Khemā, the plain order, the order of existences. So then, for example, we also have like a sensual realms, material realms, immaterial realms, something like that. Then we have Desana Khemā, the teaching order. Okay, when you ask the question about Noble Eightfold Path, it is the last one, number 5. Desana Khemā, the order of teaching. It's not the order of practice. Okay? So, for example, after practicing Samadhi, you must go to Sama Sankappa, Sama Vacha, Sama Kamada. This is a wrong idea. So, Desana Khemā means according to listener's condition, the Buddha will arrange the order of discourse. This is called Desana Khemā. Okay? Actually, another name of Desana Khemā, there are also many other things we have to know. For example, oh no, not this one. Sorry. Not this one. We have like a Dana Gatha, Sila Gatha, like this, right? They are also called Desana Khemā. Okay. The main thing is when you say Noble Eightfold Paths or Four Noble Truths or anything, they are Desana Khemā. Okay? Then any other thing?
Sayadaw, there is question in the Zoom. Sayadaw, in the chart of practicing in Pa'au Toya, I see the practitioner when he reached to the first jnana called Nama Rupa Paricheda jnana, then already practiced Vipassana, or does the practitioner have to practice up to the third one, Sammasana jnana, then only then they start the practicing Vipassana.
Okay, I also recognize the question. right? So actually, I think that the main question is, we cannot do anicca, dukkha, anatta very early, right? We have to do anicca, dukkha, anatta in the sammasana jnana. This is the main concept, right? Actually, according to seven purification, we can also understand, for example, sila visuddhi, purifications of morality. We cannot do anicca, dukkha, anatta. So similarly, purifications of the mind. Okay, now practically anapanasati. Then you may know in our breath, right? So sure, this also arises in meditation, right? After in breath, just be it comes out, it starts out breath, right? If you say in breath anicca, out breath anicca, this is also wrong idea. So this is a citta visuddhi. We have to purify our mind. It's not about anicca, dukkha, anatta. After that, we have ditthi visuddhi. Ditthi visuddhi means we have to descend nama rupas until we can break down compariness. Then when we have the perceptions of anicca, dukkha, anatta become very obvious. But at the time also we must not do anicca, dukkha, anatta. But we have that kind of perception at the time. We can also start knowing anicca, dukkha, anatta, right? But it doesn't mean we have to contemplate anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then we have Paccaya-parikkaha jnana in purification. This is a Kankha-vidarana visuddhi. Purifications of overcoming doubt. At the time we have to discern all the cause of a relationship. At the time also we don't need to contemplate as anicca, dukkha, anatta. So we have, after learning mentalities, and their causes, now we must start contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, that is why we cannot do anicca, dukkha, anatta in the very beginning. We have to wait until the time ripens. When we have learned and known many things about namarupas and their causes, is the time to start contemplating anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay? Yeah?
Vandami Sayadaw. Sayadaw mentions that for Moha-charita and Vitakka-charita both can practice Anapanasati. So for them, are there any differences on observing the breath? Would that be the area of the observing is different?
Okay. For Moha-charita, okay, we can have very big, very big one. Okay, if we say easier way, you may have a tray. You may have seen the tray, right? Very big tray also you may have seen. So ancient time when they carry patty and rice, they use tray, bamboo tray. I don't know in Nepal, do they have bamboo tray or not? I think you may still using that one, right? This is actually better than now modern tray, right? Iron or stainless steel. But bamboo tray is a little bit better, right? You may carry. Okay, you can also imagine bamboo tray. Very big, right? This is also the size for diluted temperament. It can be bigger than that. But for about Vitakka-charita, it should be smaller. Okay, if we say easier way, you may have seen the plate. Everybody have seen the plate. No, you may have seen that. Everybody have seen the plate. Maybe a little bit big plate, okay. Right? So that size will be good enough. If it's too big, then your mind will go to very wide. You may have more thinking. So that's why Vitakka Charita, the size of kasina should not be very big and very wide. For Moha Charita, it can be bigger or wider.
Sorry, Sayadaw. What the questioner would like to know is Anapanasati. Since both Charita can practice Anapanasati, what are the differences?
Actually, for Anapanasati is the same for both temperaments, right? The Vitakka Charita also can do Anapanasati because you don't need to go to many different places, many body parts, only one place around those three, right? So if you think about 4 elements, you have to go here and there all over the body. So then you cannot think about many things. You don't need to focus very wide area. So for Mohacharita also, right, if you don't understand many things, okay, Anapana, very simple. You can know it. Okay, now, next one. Okay, next question.
Con thưa Ngài.
Okay, who will be?
Rami Sayadaw. How to understand Sanya Vipallasa, Chitta Vipallasa, and Ditthi Vipallasa?
Actually, the main thing is, we misunderstand anicca as a nature, dukkha as a sukha, right? Anatta as a atta, asubha as a subha. Okay, these are called vipallasa. It will be easier, right? So if we talk about sanya vipallasa, ditthi vipallasa, it will be very wide. The main thing is that we have improper understanding or perverted understanding or perverted thinking. Okay?
Con thưa Ngài, khi chúng con làm thiện phước thì hay được các thầy hướng dẫn nói là Nibbana sa pachayo hutu, mà Nibbana thì xa. Nhưng mà nói như vậy thì có phải là để cái việc của mình làm nó tạo thành parami cho mình không ạ?
Sayadaw, whenever we perform the donation, we wish like Nibbana sa pachayo hutu. As Nibbana is still quite far, so we still wish it every day. So do its purpose is to make the action become parami.
Okay. You can book air tickets to go back Vietnam now. Although you are going back next year, it doesn't matter. Okay? You can book air tickets to go back Vietnam. Although you don't go back now. Okay? The next one. Okay, any question? Okay, 8:50. Okay, now we can share merit, right? Etavata cha amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe saddha numodandu sabba sambati siriya idam me nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadayo idam me nyadinam hotu sukhita hondu nyadayo Idame Nyatinam Hodu Sukhita Hondu Nyadayo Idame Punyam Asawakayam Waham Hodu Idame Punyam Nibbanasa Bhajayo Hodu Mama Punya Bhagam Sabasatanam Bhajemi De Sabe Me Samam Punya Bhagam Lavantu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu